In this week's episode, we have a Sorcerer zapping his way into our screens,
Evercade announce a brand new retro handheld,
and Game Freak are reeling us in for the newest installment of Pokemon. I'm Anthony.
and I'm Barry, and this is episode 57 of the Retro Gaming Dads podcast, the podcast for everything retro and retro-inspired.
So, time to get back on track. Some family emergencies and other bits going on.
Yes, unfortunately, we missed one episode. To be honest, I'm surprised we've gone this long without missing an episode.
That's true. Now, we've got quite a lot to talk about this week. We would go through the nicey stuff about what we've been doing, but it's quite a heavy news week this week.
Well, we've got a little bit of everything. I even managed to cram a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog in. You managed to cram a little bit of Pokemon in there.
But the thing is, though, it's been a while since anything about Pokemon's been in. But Sonic, we're literally about to start. I was waiting for Barry to press start, and he goes, wait a minute. I was like, what? He goes, something came out an hour ago. And I flicked to the show notes. It says, Sonic. I was like, fed's sake.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. Would it be anything else?
No.
Well, should we jump straight in with our favourite pastime on this podcast?
What? Bashing Sony?
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say. As we mentioned a couple of episodes ago, Sony have announced PlayStation Plus, and the premium tier is going to include some PlayStation 1 titles.
Yeah.
And as I said back then as well, I was actually kind of interested in this tier as well.
Well, yeah, you just kind of know what sort of titles they're going to bring out from PlayStation 1 and the amount of titles they could choose from.
Especially from my point of view, since I never had a PlayStation, the original one. There's so many great games that I still haven't played. There's probably loads of games I'm not even aware of, let alone played.
I bet there's those games that people would like to play that they never played. So yeah, they're kind of expecting some of the big hits to come in. This list they've released isn't exactly grabbing anyone's attention, shall we say.
So let's go through. These are the list of PlayStation 1 games available on the service at the moment. Now, bear in mind, the service is kind of like on a staggered rollout, so it's not available everywhere in the world as of yet. So, first of all, Ape Escape. Not a bad title. I've never played it, but I've heard good things about it. It was, I believe, the first game that required a dual analog controller.
Yeah. I never played it, but as far as I'm aware, it wasn't a great game. Maybe because it's one of the first games to have.
I've heard good things about it.
The other one was Hot Shots Golf.
I am actually a fan of Hot Shots Golf, although the first game on the PlayStation is not good. The later ones on the PSP and the PS Vita, I absolutely rinse those games. I love them.
It's just the first one.
Yeah, the first one, it's one of those. It's the first ones. And in all fairness, I was spoiled because I played some of the later titles first and then went back to the first one afterwards. And I was like,
maybe if you played this first.
Yeah, maybe if I played it back in the day. I'd have fonder memories of it. But unfortunately not. Now, the next one is IQ, Intelligent Cube, spelt with a Q.
Yep.
Now, this one's a little puzzle game. I have played a demo of this, if I remember at the time. And it was okay. You're like this little character. You're moving these cubes around. You've got to turn them to make like platforms to get to other parts of the puzzle and line them up, if I remember right, or show a certain face of the cube. It was okay. It's not bad. It's nice to have a game like this in a selection. Unique puzzle.
I love a good puzzle game. I absolutely love a good puzzle game. Next we've got is Jumping Flash.
It's another good game. Yeah. It's a first-person platforming game, and especially when you consider this was on very early in the PlayStation's life, it sounds like it could be an absolute train wreck, but it was done pretty well.
It looks a bit weird. It's like you look at a bunny rabbit hopping around, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what you are, like a little mecha bunny.
Oh, yeah, like a little robot bunny. It looks...
It's the kind of game I could imagine it gives some people maybe a bit of seasickness.
Yeah, because the way the camera angles down... Yeah, the camera angle wasn't great.
But at the time, that was a really good design choice, that when you jump, your character automatically looks down, so you can see where you're going to land. There's plenty of other platformers from the time, 3D platformers. I'll pick on one because it's just an easy target, but Bubsy 3D, where it's so difficult to judge your jumps. And that's in third person, let alone first person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a decent game. Definitely, again, one that deserves to be on this collection. Next up is Siphon Filter. Now, this is a series I have dabbled in. It reminds me of a poor man's Splinter Cell.
Yeah. they not fantastic looking, but I mean it was the original PlayStation.
I'm certain it has its fans though.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Do you know what? It gives you a bit of a Lara Croft sort of feel to it. To the way you run around, the way you kind of obviously with a third person.
Do you mean the tank controls?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Tank controls.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those. It was PlayStation exclusive. I can see why they've put it on here.
The next one is Mr. Driller.
Now, this again, it's another puzzle game. So you're a little dude, and you're basically drilling down to the bottom of the stage. You've got to do it quick enough that your oxygen supply doesn't deplete.
Yeah.
You've also got to be careful that you don't dig under something so that it can fall down and crush you. And again, it's a nice little puzzle game. Good one to round out a collection of PlayStation 1 titles. But so far, none of these games have been kind of like the massive hits that I would have expected to seen launch with this service.
What, like Crash and Spyro?
Well, yeah. Essentially.
Yeah, Crash and Spyro, that's obviously my two. There's also Conor McRae Rally Racer. There's quite a few games that they could have easily put onto that.
Yeah, there definitely is. If you wanted to put PlayStation 1 exclusives, like, where's the Gran Turismo, for example?
Yeah. Well, this isn't an extensive list. It's just listed really so far.
Yes.
But surely you'd have put at least one or two big name games into it.
The only big name game that's actually there is Tekken 2.
Yeah, Tekken 2. The Tekken games are fantastic. I've enjoyed them all.
Yeah, they're not my cup of tea, but I appreciate them.
Oh, they are my cup of tea. I do like them. So it's a well-known game. I think it's a good game to put into it. So far, this is the only game that kind of would pique my interest out of a lot of them. The next two we've got, I'll just round them off quickly. Worms World Party and Worms Armageddon.
You do not need both of these.
You don't.
It's obvious that these have just been put in there to kind of bolster the numbers slightly. Yeah, it's definitely not the launch lineup that I would have expected from Sony.
Not the cream of the crop.
I wasn't a PlayStation owner, but I could think of so many better games to have launched with this.
They've let themselves down so far, but hopefully, from their fans' reaction, they might realise, hang on a second, better games.
Obviously, the list of titles is underwhelming, but that's not where the main issue comes from.
No.
So a lot of people have an issue with the version of the game that they've actually released, which is the PAL version.
Now, I can kind of see why they did PAL version, because doing the PAL version, one of the likely reasons is because of the multiple language options.
Yes.
So it makes it easier for everyone else to play it. But who wants the PAL version when you can have the nice version?
Back in the late 90s, we tended to get our games last. So typically Japan would get them, then the US, and then it come to Europe. Now, with PAL version, occasionally there might have been some bug fixes applied to our versions, just because they got that little bit extra development time. And it is likely that they did only do this just because they tended to have like English, French, German, Spanish, and maybe another language or two as selectable options. But what people can't get over is the 50 hertz. So for those that aren't fortunate enough to have had to play 50 hertz titles back in the day, our titles typically were not optimized for the PAL standard and ran about 16-17% slower than NTSC versions that you got in Japan and the US.
Yeah.
There are exceptions. Some games were optimized. Some games were partially optimized. So what you might find is the gameplay runs at the same speed, but the music ran slower. Like the first time I played a NTSC game was actually Sonic the Hedgehog. I know that's a big surprise for you.
Yeah.
And I was playing it. I was like, what's going on? The music's going absolutely insane. It's so fast. And then I went back to playing it on PAL, and it was going do 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 do. And I went back and it went do 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 do. Sounds like when you used to listen to your music on a cassette tape and the batteries were just about to die.
It's like very slowly trying to.
Yeah. It's either that or it was some sort of demonic message coming through.
But what are Sony doing? Like we said, it's kind of like a pastime to bash Sony, but they make it easy for us to do it.
The thing is, this isn't even the first time they've done this exact thing. When they released the PlayStation Mini, the reason that got slated is because that had the PAL versions of titles on it, which for everyone in the world, even people who live in the UK and Europe now, we've got used to playing 60 hertz games.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, why is these games running slow? So you would have thought they'd have learned from it from the first time round.
Maybe they're just being lazy and can't bother to put the 6 hertz versions on.
Yes, I did see, I've not included it in this, but I did see that they were going to address it. Now, I don't know whether that means they were going to put in the NTSC versions instead or additionally, or maybe just force these to run a little bit faster. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Come on, Sony. You're making it look like amateur hour here.
Sony, this is the letdown lately. They're not impressing me. They aren't helping themselves. And it's hard to say something nice about them sometimes, isn't it?
Do you know what? This reminds me of the launch of the PlayStation 3, where because they were so far out ahead with the PlayStation 2, they got essentially really cocky about it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And
too confident.
Yeah, and they were just like, oh, we can't mess up. And they just made bad decision after bad decision. And I think over time, this is going to erode a lot of the PlayStation fans' trust in Sony and PlayStation
We
itself.
managed to convince someone at work to change from PlayStation to Xbox. He's now sold his PlayStation.
No, he just accidentally bought his Xbox and then sold his PS5.
Yeah, he sold it.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Told me today.
So, hello to you if you've caught up to this podcast. I know you're listening to them, and last time I spoke to you all the way back on episode 20.
I was about to say, I think it's kind of slowed off a little bit. So,
yeah.
I don't know. We can slag him off. It'll be a while before he gets to it. So, we have a sorcerer coming through. Simon the Sorcerer.
So, after talking about Monkey Island is returning, the classic point-and-click adventure full of humour, we've got another classic point-and-click adventure full of humour.
Yeah, so Simon the Sorcerer Origins has now been announced, following on from the conversation, because wasn't it the Monkey Island, what do you call it, who said about it? I can't remember his name. Who was it that turned around and said there was another game coming out?
I don't know. I'm not sure if you've made this up.
I feel like we had a conversation and someone like hinted towards a new Monkey Island game, or is this just a similar one? Is that
No. So Ron Gilbert, the original producer of Monkey Island, is making a brand new Monkey Island.
Oh, okay. I've got so confused with this. All right.
So we are going to get a new Monkey Island, but then hot on its heels, we have now got Simon the Sorcerer Origins being announced, which is a prequel to the original Simon the Sorcerer games.
Yeah.
Now, these are... Have you ever read any of the Terry Pratchett Discworld books? No. Right. Oh, well, there goes that comparison then. So it's got a very sort of dry British humour to it.
Okay.
Not too dissimilar to Monkey Island, but definitely a lot more British. It's the only way I can really think about it. And whenever I played this, I always could see it being a Terry Pratchett Discworld novel.
Okay.
It's that sort of magical and mythical beasts and, sorcerers and wizards, but everything was like slightly off kilter, and it was always a little bit weird.
Yeah. Well, I could tell, because watching through the trailer, it looked like flash between modern day and past as such. It showed him in the modern day, like in a house, one point with bubblegum in his face, and then went to like the past and is walking around.
Yes, so I don't know what the plot for this will be. But the original game, you kind of got transported to a parallel universe.
Yeah.
Which was full of, magic and monsters and dragons and things like that. So I don't know if perhaps this game may retell some of that part of the story, or maybe this is kind of like a soft reboot. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. Now, it is getting a little bit of stick online because of its visuals.
Yes. I can see, but in all fairness, I like it. It's a bit of a quirky visual, but I quite like the way they've done it.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit of Paper Mario, to be honest.
Yes.
The way everything kind of seems like cutouts. I actually like it. I would prefer that over going back to the original pixel art style.
Yeah,
Unless
I
it's
quite
really
like
good pixel art.
It was quite funny. He was going with his little hat, and you see, you just pick up a rabbit, and this rabbit's just like flailing around. He just dumps it to his hat.
Yeah. I would love to know, though, if they're going to get Chris Barry back to do the voice.
Okay.
So, do you know who Chris Barry is?
No.
You will know him.
All right.
He's Rimmer from Red Dwarf.
Okay. Yes. Oh, he's a
Arnold
butler in
Rimmer.
Tomb Raider for Lara Croft, isn't he?
Is he?
Is he? Is he in Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Let's have a look now.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the game. I was thinking, right, you
No,
could
the
be because the
movie.
butler only goes.
The movie.
I've just realised you meant the movie.
Yes, I know he is.
Yeah, I think he may have actually been. Obviously, that performance was so great that it just blew my mind and I couldn't remember about it. Or maybe it was just completely forgettable. One or two. Yeah, I'd like to know if he comes back. I'm not holding my breath, but that would be nice if he did. Because unfortunately, I played it on the Amiga. I didn't get voices. The MS-DOS version, and I think there might have been a CD32 version. They got spoken dialogue, and apparently they were fantastic for it.
It's interesting that they're doing this game.
Yep.
Now it's been, well, by the time it's released, 30 years. They've been 30 years after.
Oh yeah, it will be by the time
title
it
was
because
the Amiga and
it's
MS-DOS in 1993. So by the time
due
it's
out
released,
28th of March 2023. If
30
Steam is to
years.
be believed, yeah, and it came out in 1993. I didn't even click that.
Yeah.
God, I'm feeling old now.
What are you feeling old?
Well, yeah, whatever. Right, well, we're actually getting quite a lot of retro stuff this episode, aren't we? Rather than like retro-inspired titles like we normally do.
Sega announced the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2.
Yes.
Why is there a second one?
Because it was so great. They had to do
Oh,
it twice. So the Sega Mega Drive Mini was based on the original Mark 1 of the system. And obviously this is going to be based on the cost-reduced, smaller Mega Drive 2. However, a lot of these games are Mega CD games.
Yes, I noticed that. Like Sonic CD, Shining Force CD. There's a lot more of the CD titles.
Yes.
Which, why not?
Yeah, well, apart from the fact that these are going to take up significantly more storage space than the original ones did.
But I still think this is a pretty cheap console to get.
I'm definitely getting this.
I know you
Elliot was asking me what I want for Christmas, and I was on Amazon showing him, get me this, get me this.
This comes out the day before my birthday.
Hint, hint.
No, just saying.
No, I mean hint, hint for your birthday, not for one of these.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too.
So far, they've only announced 11 titles, but they have said 50 titles will be on this. This is, I think that's like 8 more than the original Mega Drive Mini, which I think was 42, if I remember right.
50 is still quite a lot, especially with some of these titles.
It is. And some of these...
Shining Force, Thunder Force, Virtua Racing, Sonic,
yeah,
a lot of, just off these 11 titles I've announced so far are really big titles.
Well, straight away, with including this, I'm going to be buying Sonic CD twice this year. Between this and Sonic Origins.
Yeah, guaranteed buy it a few more times as well.
Well, it depends how many times they re-release it. But no, some of these games, like Sonic CD, is not a cheap game to buy for the Mega CD anymore.
I didn't think Shining Force was either, was it?
Shining Force, no.
Yeah, no, exactly. I know. I remember thinking about that one.
It's on the other Shining Force games. No, not a chance. Yeah. But Shining Force CD, I've played it, but only through emulation. I would love to sit down with this console and play through this, because I believe this is Shining Force Gaiden 1 and 2 through the Game Gear, and they kind of stuck them together and improved the graphics and re-released it as Shining Force CD. But yeah, some of these games are fantastic games. Another game that I've wanted to play is, I'm going to absolutely mess this up now, is Magical Taruto-kun.
That was so dodgy.
And that looks like it's such a colourful platformer, and I've always wanted to play that. Popful Mail as well. That
Now, I know this console will come out during the games nights as well. So I reckon it'd be 2-player, so you'd be like, hang on, guys, let's play this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know it will.
A lot of these games, like Bonanza Brothers, it's not the best game, but it's a cool little 2-player game. So what you are is your two characters that essentially look like Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Imagine the Minions like 25 years before the Minions.
Yeah.
And you go around these buildings and you've got to like break in and steal everything but avoid the guards. And it's split screen game. It's quite fun, for maybe like half an hour.
Yeah.
But all these games are great games. The only one I'm not interested in, and it's because I haven't got a clue what it is Mansion of Hidden Souls, which looks like a very Myst sort of game, like a point and click. But what you do is you click on a door in a room and it shows a video of you walking to the door. That sort of game. Virtual Racing was the only game ever released on the Mega Drive that had an enhancement chip to allow it to do 3D at more than like 2 frames per second.
All right.
And Sylphied, that was actually the first game I got with my Mega CD, and I was blown away.
So you can be blown away when you get your Mega Drive 2. Mega 2.
So this will be like 60, 70 pound when it gets released over here. Unfortunately, we haven't got a release date. The only release date we do have is for Japan, which is 27th of October, which I have been informed is the day before someone's birthday.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. Can't remember who, though.
No idea.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the other 39 games are. I can't wait.
Yeah. No, I know. And as soon as we get more, we'll let you know. So there is a trailer for the Mega Drive Mini 2 and for...
well, for everything we've talked about pretty much so far.
Everything's spoken about so far. Other than Sony, everything we're going to speak about today, other than Sony, there is trailers for, and they will be in the show notes for you to be able to view on the website.
Yeah. And that's not because we're just dissing Sony. We couldn't find a trailer for them. They were too embarrassed to have a trailer for the PlayStation 1 titles, apparently. They're
like, we're going to announce it, but we can't really show a video for this. Let's just skip past the video part.
Yeah. Just really quickly with the Mega Drive Mini 2. One nice little thing that they've done as well is you can actually buy like a pack. It's only like plastic models, but it's a Mega CD and a virtual racing cartridge that you can clip and drop into your Mega Drive Mini to make it look like the full system. Yeah. They've done a similar thing for the Mega Drive Mini, except I tried to get hold of that, and the pack is stupidly expensive. Like, bear in mind, it's just plastic shells that you place your Mega Drive Mini console onto, and they're going for like 150 quid.
Jeez.
All right, nah. I'll save up and buy a 3D printer and just print my own. It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah, I'm excited about that. Mainly because it's another Sonic the Hedgehog.
You're obsessed. We need to cut you off somehow. I'll tell Kerry not to get you this.
Go cold turkey on Sonic the Hedgehog titles.
Yeah. So I'll tell Kerry not to get you this, but I know you already have it pre-ordered and be waiting for it.
No, I'll literally just buy this, hand it to Kerry and go, give me that. Just go don't even have to wrap it up, just hand me it straight back.
If it's not in the box, that's fine. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
So, as always, before we continue, if you are enjoying this podcast, we would love to hear back from you. The best way to do this is by leaving us a review in your favourite podcasting app.
And if you would like to support us further, you can visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as £1 per month. For that, you'll receive the occasional episode early. I'll be honest, it's the occasional episode that you'll get early, but it'll be completely ad-free versions of the podcast.
So you'll be hearing this little blurb.
You won't be hearing this. If you're hearing this, you're not a Patreon subscriber. And as always, thank you for Short Gizmo for your continuing support.
Evercade has come back onto our screens.
Yeah, it didn't seem that long ago we were talking about the Evercade Versus, which was the home console version.
Yeah.
Well, they had the second anniversary show. And to be honest, I thought these guys had been around a lot longer than 2 years.
Yeah. Now, the next console, I think, is a bit of a bizarre name to call it. Evercade EXP.
Yeah, and that's actually how it's pronounced according to the video as well. EXP, not experience.
Yeah. I think it's a bit of a Bit of a bizarre name for it, but fair enough. Evercade EXP. But Mum was going to play my EXP. What's it, EXP? Yeah.
Yeah, see, I was wondering, because the way it's written as well, like, I thought, is it the Evercade XP? And that's why it's wrote EXP.
Yeah.
Because they've got, like, quite a thin letter E and then a chunky XP at the end, haven't they?
Yeah, and when they were... Well, even when they were through the trailer, it would be like, they put the EXP and put it bold in the middle of some words as well.
Yeah.
To kind of play off it. But it's an interesting one. What I find very interesting is the new mode they've put into it as well.
Which is?
The Tate mode.
Oh, yeah. Tate. Yeah, apparently, and I absolutely believe them because I can't think of another one. This is the first handheld console with a dedicated Tate mode since, I think, the Atari Lynx.
Jeez.
Which is almost as old as you. And if you want to play vertical shooters, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's quite an interesting thing to put into it because not many games do that. So to try and play a game on a console, obviously you either have to play widescreen, it looks weird, or they have to give you massive borders to give the Tate side, and it just looks weird again.
I'm sure this has come up in the past, but Ikaruga on the GameCube, actually has a Tate mode where it turns everything, and I turned my CRT 90 degrees and had to prop it up against the wall to play this. Thankfully, it was only like a 21-inch CRT, I think it might have been.
What, compared to like the 35-inch one I brought around to your house?
Oh, yeah. That's still getting in the way in the garage.
I'm not surprised. But yeah, I think there's a very cool little a gimmick feature to put into the console.
Yeah, it's a great little feature. You even get a little set of A and B buttons, like rotated 90 degrees on the left-hand side for when you are playing it in that mode.
So it looks quite nice. I think it does look pretty nice for a retro handheld console.
Right. See, I'm a bit torn on its design. So do you remember what the original Evercade looked like?
Yes.
So it had that red and white aesthetic, and it was quite unique, and that carried across to the Evercade Versus.
Yeah, I do wish they kept the colour in, but I like the sleek design I put in.
I didn't like the style of the old system.
No, the old system.
I thought it made it look...
I like the colour in, but I like the style of this one, so I wish they carried the colour across to this.
Yeah, I wish it had a splash of red in it, because in white, it looks modern, it looks nice, but I think it looks extremely generic.
It's plain, yeah.
If this didn't say Evercade on the front, this could be any generic AliExpress handheld console that you pick up for $30 or something.
There is going to be a limited edition black version, though, so if you're lucky enough to get one of them...
I think they may have already gone, actually.
Oh, flip it out.
If anyone's interested in it, then I would say head on over to funstock.co.uk straight away. When I looked, they were going pretty quick, and there's not an awful lot of them available.
Oh, is there still some left?
There was when I looked, but I looked like not long after this was announced.
Oh, okay.
The limited edition is £179, which is more than the £129 they'll be asking for the standard unit. And includes some extra bits like a keyring, a poster, a hard carry case as well, and 2 cartridges. So these cartridges have multiple games on them. So you'll get the IREM Arcade 1 cartridge and the Toa Play Arcade 1 cartridge. Now, the IREM one has quite a few titles on, the most prominent one being R-Type. And the Toa Play, I have completely blanked on what games were on there because I've not wrote it down.
No, I was about to say that.
I remember there was some good games on there.
So with the new design, they put some features into it. So they've now got a HDMI out, so you will be able to play it onto your TV.
Yep. I believe the old one had that on, but it had some issues with it.
Oh, did it?
It didn't scale very well.
I'm surprised it didn't have built-in Wi-Fi in the old one, though.
Yeah, I think as far as I'm aware, the Wi-Fi is just for updating the software.
I was about to say, what is it for exactly? Because it's not going to be for online play or anything.
Yeah. Although saying that, the way this system works, the cartridge actually has the menu and the OS and the emulators on the cartridge. So I think if you turn it on without a cartridge in, it just doesn't do anything because there's no software on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose for firmware updates, perhaps.
So the Evercade EXP is... Do you see the price for it? Sorry.
Yeah, £129 for the standard, £179 for the limited edition.
But the original Evercade is being discontinued later this year as well, though. In the winter.
Yes. So they announced that sadly it'll be discontinued, but it will be compatible with all games that are released up until that point.
Yeah.
Potentially, maybe even later, but I do think they do need to let the original system go. And Blaze, the company that produced these, they need to push forward. They're going to get to a point where they'll want to maybe release more modern arcade games. I want to say modern, I mean like maybe mid-90s.
Bit more up to date.
Yeah. Something with, like more modern features, like more than 4 colors. No, actually, there's some pretty impressive.
Bit more directional movement.
Yeah. And I do think it's inevitable that they'll need to drop support for the older systems. I'm hoping that the Evercade Versus, though, is more capable hardware inside of it. Because I just assumed it was pretty much the same hardware as the original Evercade. But hopefully not.
If you're into retro gaming and you're into retro handhelds, this is definitely one for you.
Not only that, retro gaming and retro handhelds and physical media. That's the big selling point of this. It's entirely physical media.
Mode.
And tate.
Tate. It just looks like Tate, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's spelled that. I'm torn on the design of it. It looks modern. It looks sleek. I just think it looks generic.
Yeah.
It's either all white or all black. I don't know. It doesn't need that little...
If I'm honest, they could have had a larger screen as well.
They could have, but I don't think they could have made it much larger without making the handheld bigger, to be honest.
I don't know, there's a lot of bezel there.
Yeah, I don't think it's egregious, though, the amount of bezel.
No, that's true.
I'm fairly certain the original Switch has a bigger bezel.
I don't know, but going from something plain looking to something blue looking, Sonic is zooming around now.
That was a smooth transition.
That's what I thought too.
So, as we alluded to earlier, there's been the Sonic Central a couple of hours before we recorded this podcast.
Yep.
And they have a new trailer for Sonic Origins, which is the launch date trailer. Although we already knew the launch date. Sonic's birthday. It's 31st birthday, to be precise.
All right, Sonic nerd. So they've shown some of the islands. It looks pretty cool. I quite like the way that he goes around to different islands. It looks like some of the animation, which is literally people bopping up and down, which is kind of like the... you remember part of the...
That's your premium features right there.
There you go. Premium features. It's just bopping up and down. Looks...
I know this isn't usually my kind of game, but I am actually quite excited for this.
Hey, do you know, no offense, I think because of how the islands are sat, and that's like the menu, I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's no Sonic R. Sonic Jam.
No, but...
the little animations that they have that tie all the games together, though, look pretty impressive.
They did. I quite like, as we were saying earlier, the animations look quite cool the way they've done it. Very quirky, very, very Sonic, isn't it?
Imagine that. It's very Sonic.
I know, but they could have what you'd expect.
Yeah, they tie in very well with like the Sonic CD and the Sonic Mania animations.
Yeah, I was very impressed with it.
Unfortunately, unless I've missed it, there's still not an announcement if there's going to be a physical release for this. I'm still crossing my fingers and my toes that there will be. I'm excited about this. The mirror mode was shown off. I should say the islands were. There does look like there's boss rush. There does look like there's a museum mode as well.
Yes,
and I did notice next to it said 8% complete. So I'm wondering if maybe you need to either progress so far into the game, or maybe there's collectibles added to the games. I remember on the Neo Geo Pocket, on Sonic's Pocket Adventures, hidden around the stage, there was actually collectibles for like a block sliding puzzle.
All I'm going to hear there when you constantly is, I can't find this collectible. Oh, I got this collectible.
No, you go, dude. Sonic Origins came out yesterday. Have you had a chance to play it? Yeah, I've completed it all. I've not slept.
Like your eyes twitching, like, oh no. What are the collectibles? Don't start with me with them.
They did also have some news about Sonic Frontiers, the next 3D game. And I'm a little bit worried about it, to be honest.
Oh, I've seen some gameplay for it.
Mm-hmm. Is this the IGN gameplay
Yes.
footage from a few days ago?
Now, it's, to me, if I'm completely honest, I get the feeling of like
Breath of the Wild?
no, Phantasy Star.
Oh yeah, the environment looks very much like Phantasy Star New Genesis, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Because I saw my brothers were watching it, I'm like, is that Phantasy Star? They're like, there's Sonic. I was like, oh, is it? Because I just saw him going around, like, you know, the way he was going around the enemy trying to attack it, and the way they all looked. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Sonic because he's literally zooming around. The fight looks a bit weird.
The witch, the Leviathan.
The fighting. My nose. The fighting. Looks a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a bit where he kind of is firing out like fireballs or shockwaves.
Yeah. Loads of shockwaves.
I did also notice one where he runs around an enemy and loops around it, and then
their armor like takes off or something.
That I think is actually a reference to Knights, because that's how you kill a lot of enemies in Knights into Dreams. You loop around them, and it kind of like makes like a vacuum in the middle of the loop and destroys anything inside. So I don't know if it's perhaps a reference to that. The actual gameplay itself doesn't look too bad. The environment, I'm not a fan. As you said, if you just show me the environment, I'll go, oh yeah, it's PSO.
Yeah.
It could literally be any game. I would not look at it and go, oh, it's Sonic.
It's not got the same quirky graphics to it.
Yes. If you show me, especially from the 16-bit era, pretty much any stage, I go, it's a Sonic. I can tell you straight away, it's Sonic. There's nothing that defines it. And it's just like random grind rails and platforms and springs floating in the air. It looks like sometimes when you're playing a 3D game and you kind of like catch the corner of a bit of geometry and you can see through it and you can't see the environment, but you can see all like the assets that are on it. It looks like it's glitched and not loaded in. Like there should be a mountain with all these on it, and like the mountain's not there, but all the springs and bits are.
And also the way to me, it's so big and open. I feel like it should have multiplayer.
Maybe.
I have
to be honest,
Knuckles.
I'd be settled with them just making a good 3D Sonic game to begin with before they start messing around with multiplayer. Every time they've put multiplayer into a Sonic game, anyway, it's always been such a half-arsed thing.
But lastly, Sonic Fall Guys crossover.
Oh yeah, this was just at the end. So I don't play Fall Guys. I don't think my blood pressure would be able to take it. But yeah, some reasons Sonic is coming to Fall Guys, and there's Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles costumes.
They're just costumes. It's not like it's going to be it's not really massive, but
this is where Fall Guys has like a definitively Sonic the Hedgehog stage that you're looking and go, that's Sonic the Hedgehog. And Sonic Forces can't even do that. Not on the notes, but there's some new Sonic stage in Roblox as well.
All right.
Like some speed test center or something. I just saw Roblox and went, skip.
I don't know. Sounds a place for Roblox. There's loads of Sonic stuff on there, so I don't know.
Well, this is official Sonic stuff, so.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Right, so that's everything, yeah? That's all the news?
Shush. You're so funny, Mr. Sonic Nerd. Last but not least, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So we had a trailer drop 3-4 days ago, showing you a lot more of the environment, the gameplay. It's showing you that it's actually 4-player co-op, which is an interesting feature, I think.
Yeah, so do you see the other players run around?
Yes. So you meet with the other players and you run around with them. The trailer doesn't really show that part very well. All it shows
because I thought they were NPCs.
They all, So you see one run up to others, and they're all there, and they all split off, and it shows them in all different sections, like one in winter tundra, one in grass, one in. And I was like, why have they done that? Why not have them all together a bit more and just show the 4-player co-op?
Yeah.
But they have said there is 4-player co-op. Like previous games, you have the battling, you have the trading. But I think it's quite unique and cool that you have put a 4-player co-op in. But I'm not sure how well it's going to work. You know, if you're going 4 players, if we both throw a Pokeball, if I hit it first, that's it, I catch that Pokemon, and you're like, haha, lost your Pokeball.
I could imagine this is the kind of game where you're playing and like you go, oh, it's a shiny Pikachu or something, and you learn and you
I'll like
battle it,
throw
you get it
Pokeballs.
down to 1 HP, and then just a random Pokeball comes out from nowhere and catches it.
Or like comes to battles, you come across, there's this little, I don't know, Parasect. It's level 2, and there's 4 of you throwing Pokeballs. There's Parasect, like going, all right, let's fight this thing. You've got like 4 level 50s. It's level 2 just going, help me.
It looks substantially better than
It does. It definitely does a lot better.
Legends Arceus.
Yes.
Which I haven't actually played since we last talked about it.
More actually. I got distracted with Zelda still.
Well, I have actually got some more Switch games, so I have been distracted.
don't even talk to us.
Hey, hang on, just before we carry on with the Pokemon games, just give me one moment. So while I wait for the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection, which I've now pre-ordered to get delivered at the end of the year, I picked up Agelos, I think you pronounce it, which is a fantastic Wonder Boy-like game. Okay. Although I am triggered that I have completed it, and I have 99% completion, and I have no idea what that last 1% is. But not only have I opened it, I have completed it.
I'm impressed, Tom.
I just need to find that 1%. And I bought the normal Wonder Boy collection.
Oh, fair sake.
Which I'm going to move on to. So I'll complete those 4 games. It's not open. It only came yesterday.
Oh. You're off this week, so you just be playing this week.
I am pretty much. Right, come on, let's go back to Pokemon games.
Yeah, Baze, get back on track. It's interesting that they've now put game-specific professors as well.
Has that never happened before?
Female, one is a male. No, it's not. It's the first time they've changed it. I don't know why they've done it. It's a bit of a different take. Why not? If you've got if you've got version-specific, like costumes they've got, different academies they've got, there's quite a lot of differences. So, there's nothing wrong.
I did get a very almost Harry Potter like feeling from the trailer. Do you know, with like the schools and that?
Yeah.
I know in Harry Potter they're not completely different schools, which I'm not sure if they are in this, but where it was shown like the 2 banners of the 2 different schools.
Yeah. No, I get it. We don't know much about the story and how this is going to unfold and go. We do know, and the Game Freak have said, that this is the first truly open world setting in the series history. So rather than like in Arceus, you would be in your little village and then you'd travel out to another one and there'd be loads of screens. It's now seamless between going to different towns. There might be some loading times, but otherwise they said this is completely open world. You will not have any loading times between different towns. And they've also said that this is not a linear story game. They've said that it is now you get to choose the way that you complete the story, which I think is interesting. You're free to just explore and go and do. Now, that's not saying, you might think, I want to go that way, but it's maybe I have to go, but I'm going to go this way instead. And instead of going the one way you think it should be, and it's level 30, you go the other way, it's level 60 sort of thing. You get absolutely messed over. It's kind of letting you write your own story, the game is, which I think is a very interesting take. They've gone for it.
So basically, I'll just turn into like a maniacal tyrant that has a level 100 Charizard.
Yeah.
That's how I play every other Pokemon game, so why not?
Just turn to a tyrant?
Well, yeah, I just get one Pokemon, usually a Charizard, and just steamroll through the entire game with a single Pokemon.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be Charizard on this, but it looks like a little fire crocodile dinosaur. You could have that one.
Why would you not have a Charizard or a Charmander?
I mean, you'll be able to get one.
Yeah, but I was going to say the way you said that, because new Pokemon games now don't have every Pokemon in them, do they?
They've not said if it's going to be it. We only know of a few. They have announced the 2 legendaries, which I
was looking at them. Names. I have no idea. So go on, you have a go at one. I'll go with the other.
Coraidon,
Meridion.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have no idea.
No clue. I think the legendaries actually look pretty decent.
Yeah, one of them looks like a robot though, doesn't it?
It's got jet turbines for legs.
Yeah, I did notice that, and also its eyes look like LED screens.
Yeah, it did.
Bit of a strange Pokemon, but then again, Porygon, that was a virtual Pokemon, weren't it?
Yes, it was. Oh, you got Porygon, Porygon 2, Porygon 3, and then you just got winner and winner.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll pick this up, to be honest.
Also, the Pokemon centers, how weird do they look?
I do like that they look open. They look like bars,
Yeah,
don't they? Like
they
open
do.
air bars. Although the one in the middle of a snowstorm did look a little bit out of place. I was thinking, maybe that one could have done with some walls.
Well, there was no snow in the Pokemon Center area either, was it? It was just around it, just not on it.
I didn't notice that.
But is there no Nurse Joy now? Is that it? Is Nurse Joy gone?
Has Nurse Joy been in the game since the original one? I always thought she was a bit of a psycho, to be honest.
Yeah, the same as Officer Jenny.
Here's your Pokemon. I hope they get injured so you return and see me again.
I just think it was weird that there was Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny, and they were just in every single town. Was another one of you like
they were just cloned.
What the heck's going on here?
Mewtwo wasn't an experiment to clone Mew. He was a predecessor for Nurse Jenny. Nurse Jenny? Officer Jenny, sorry, Nurse Joy.
Nurse Jenny.
Yeah, they thought, it's too hard to clone two people, but just put them together.
Now, we do have a release date, November the 18th this year.
Yes, we did know this was coming this year, but we didn't actually have a date, did we?
No, and we now do.
Because isn't this the third Pokemon in near enough 12 months? We had Pearl and Diamond, then we had Legends Arceus, and then we're getting Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit too many in such a short period of time.
Yeah. My Pearl has just been kind of like pushed aside. I feel bad, but there's so many different Pokemon games.
I know.
I'm getting a bit tired
of Pokemon.
There being so many of them, and it's just Arceus I really enjoyed.
Yeah. See, I started off enjoying it, but then it just got so repetitive.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, I'll probably go back to it one day, but
until that day, you've got loads of games to play. So,
oh yeah, I'm set. I've got 2 versions of Wonder Boy collection coming.
Oh yeah,
I've got the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2, Sonic Origins. That'll last me a little while.
I'm just happy with Zelda still. I'm waiting for Breath of the Wild 2. But that's
I'll probably. Do you know what? I need to pick up Breath of the Wild and actually complete it. Because the problem with me in open world games is I get too easily distracted. Like, oh, something's popped up on my map. I'll go and do that. And then
I say the same thing, but I've actually done a lot of, I've really stuck with this quite a bit.
But then I come back and I'm like, what was it doing again? Ganon Hoop?
No, I know what you mean. Ganon Dwarf?
Ganon Dwarf. Oh.
Now, that's all we've got for this week. It's been a lot of news.
It has. Pretty much all of it's been old retro, not new retro.
Yeah. It's our fault for missing the episode, but we've been Retro Gamer Dads, and we'll see you next time.
I was just looking at I was looking at then I was like, I don't recognise a game called Trek 2.
I'm like, what is this?
And then we were talking about games, I was like, I'm sure Tekken was on there.
I was just looking at it, it's like, what is Trek 2? So I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm not announcing this one. All right.